Okay, everybody, I'm back working on the bike again. Nothing on this today. What I'm working on is a seat. I bought a new aftermarket seat cover that's supposed to be just like the original. You can see it's nice and crisp, and here's the old one. I mean, taped and same thing as the new one here, except no tape, and not all destroyed. You can see this one's just had it. Well, one of the things that I've run into is it's obvious that this thing has been repaired by the previous owner or owners over the years, and it's just chewed up. I'm going to see what I can do about rejuvenating this. I looked into the cost of this pad. It's expensive. So I'm going to try and fill these holes in and get it looking somewhat stable to put the new cover on it. And here's the seat pan that pad sits on. You can see it's just a little bit dirty, but there's nothing wrong with it. And so I'm going to work on getting that piece here fixed up, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done with it. Hey everybody, I was working on the exhaust system and putting it back together, and this is the old copper gasket that was in there. I didn't even realize it was in there. It was so black and kind of looked like part of the metal. It was so smashed. And when I went to put in the new one, which you can see is nice and round and ready to go, and on these things, one of my mechanic friends told me that you have to put them in with the seam in. So you want the seam against the block itself. Because when it crushes down, it'll crush down properly with that seam in. So, little tip there, make sure you check and make sure the old gasket's out, which I didn't, obviously, and I had to chip it out of there to get it out. It was pretty well, almost like part of the motor. And I got that out with like a little ice pick and a hammer, and I got it out. So I'm going to install this. This goes in first, and I'll show you how these pieces go on the exhaust pipe here in a minute. Okay, working on the exhaust here, and you can see inside here I've already placed the new gasket, the copper gasket on there. And then on the exhaust pipe itself, you can see this little piece here has grooves on the inside of it, and you want those facing the motor. And then there's these two little pieces. There's two of them, and you're going to put them on. Sorry about the camera angles here, guys. You want the flange facing the other flange when you put it in there. Okay? Alright, everybody, on my last thing here, I told you to put the pieces the opposite way, these pieces. You want this flange facing in. So that's how it's going to be facing when you put the other piece on. So just so you know, these two little halves, they'll have to be facing in like that. Sorry. Okay, everybody, I got the exhaust manifold on here, and these, the bolts themselves are 10 millimeter, and the torque spec on them is 6 to 9 foot-pounds. So I went 8 foot-pounds, and that seemed to be pretty good. It's nice and tight, and I felt the gasket smash down as it went on here, so I think I'm going to have a good seal, and we're going to move on to the next step. We got the slip-on that has to go on here, and we'll get that installed. Okay, I got the exhaust pipe on there. You can see there's the muffler, and it's a 12 millimeter bolt that goes there. Then there's another bolt right here, 12 millimeter, goes into the side of the slip-on, and then just a pipe type fitting that goes on there to swedge the slip-on onto the pipe itself. So there you go. I've done the whole thing for you guys. Hope that helps.
Turn this up. Here we go.
Okay guys, one of the things I did learn that This cover right here, before you put this slip-on on, you can't get at this bolt, and I looked back on my other videos and saw that I brought that as a highlight, and here I missed it myself. So don't forget, put this little cover on here before you put the slip-on because you won't be able to get that bolt in. Hey everybody, I got a little ahead of myself on the bike. I forgot to film when I was working on the seat, when I was putting it together, and you can see there's some little imperfections underneath the seat here. I did my darndest to try and repair that pad, and I'm going to end up doing it at a later date. It's a $75 pad, and I'm just not spending the money on that right now. You can see I put on the old fender, and I'm going to save up and buy some new plastics for it when I'm ready, but for right now I'm going to run the old plastic. And the way you put these seat covers on, it's actually pretty easy, but it can be a little difficult too. When you put it on, you stretch it over top of the seat, and you attach the back and then the front of the seat with staples, and I used 1/4 inch 20 gauge staples, and I used my pneumatic stapler. Once I got the front and the back pulled onto the seat pad and seat pan, then I started working my way from back to front on both sides, and I did them evenly. I started in boom, 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 and went all the way down until it was completely attached. And these aftermarket seat covers are pretty easy to see how you pull them around the edge of the pan. And what I tried using to repair it, and it ended up just not, it's good material. It's like a little foam kind of pad, but in all honesty, it added too much bulk to the pad itself and wouldn't allow the seat cover to go on. So I'm going to eventually just buy a new pad, and that should take care of business. I'm going to work on getting this sucker fired up today, so I will do some filming on that, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping for the best.